Siblings, different worlds, yet both legends in their own industries. CSP CPAE Cavett Award recipient Patricia Fripp came from England to America at the age of 20. How many of you know her story? A pair of scissors and a license to use them. A legend in the professional speaking industry, Patricia is the first female president of the National Speakers Association. Her brother, a legend in the music world. Robert Fripp is a founding and ongoing member of the band King Crimson. King Crimson first reached mass acclaim in 1969. Rolling Stones magazine named Robert Fripp 42nd among the top 100 guitarists of all time. Beyond commitment and passion for performance, both Patricia and Robert also are superb teachers and mentors. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Patricia and Robert, the fabulous Fripps.
Now, as little children, we had a special reputation.
We were known as being the best behaved, most politest of all children in Wimborne, Dorset. And we know this because Mrs. Adams, the wife of the manager of the Tivoli Film Theatre in England, who used to take us to the Tivoli to see films, she said so.
And after last year's Lady and the Champs, I deserved and needed a vacation. And I flew home to England for an action-packed, fabulous 5 or 6 day vacation, most specifically to see a performer in the Tivoli, which is now also a nice theatre for stage performances as well as movies. So we will now see a short excerpt from the performer I flew home to see. Who is that?
That is my wife. Toyah Willcox sprung to fame in England at the end of the 70s and early 1980s as the Queen of Punk. She appeared in a number of films as a young actress with Katharine Hepburn, Laurence Olivier, and in England is a household name. She terrifies me. I have 2 vicious queens in my life. One is here, the other is here.
I once watched a DVD of Toyah with an outfit just that tight, but a lot skimpier. And I said to my brother, I cannot believe this vibrant, dynamic, sexy woman comes home to my quiet, modest little brother. Do you remember what you said?
When she comes home, she's tired. Otherwise, I would be terrified.
Now, that song was written by Toya with a certain group in mind.
Toya wrote this song with her writing partner, Simon Darlow, who is a very well-known English writer and a big player in the Performing Rights Society. And it was written with the intention of presenting it to the Special Olympics, the Paralympics in London, as a theme. They didn't respond, but however, Weight Watchers did. So Weight Watchers approached my wife and Simon 2 years ago as the music for a Weight Watchers campaign with Patsy Kensit, very well-known English actress you may remember. She was the love interest for Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon 2.
And you can see in this photograph, would you like to tell us when that was taken?
Oh, this was taken last year in San Francisco. My wife is by my right shoulder, my sister clearly in the center. Then Kitty Margolis, one of America's leading jazz singers, superb jazz singer. And on the left is Dr. Alfonso Monteori of the Integrative Studies in California. He is my reading advisor. Dr. Monteori suggests literature that I should read, and he is also a saxophone player. I don't know if that undermines his status, that he was once a professional musician. He has a stunning intellect and is an all-around good guy.
We have about 8 minutes that we could accept your questions before our concluding remarks. And my brother would say, life is short. Is your question burning? Would you like to define what a burning question is while our mic runner comes up?
Burning is this: you know for certainty that Mr. Putin's first strike will land on Vegas in 3 minutes. For a certainty. Is there something you'd like to ask me? Yes.
How do you survive being an introvert on a big stage?
Ho, ho, ho. It has to do with the philosophy of the pointed stick, which we might return to. This is a challenge. Anyone who undertakes a personal discipline will know that it's very easy to become comfortable or fall asleep. One simple technique for addressing this is that of challenge, or in guitarcraft it's known as the pointed stick. Find yourself a challenge which is beyond your comfort zone, but which, if you stretch and exert yourself, you may honorably address. I'll give you an example of a pointed stick in guitarcraft.
Okay.
Students would attend the early courses at Claymont Court in West Virginia, and perhaps on day 5 of a 7-day course, they would be presented with a pointed stick, a challenge. Tomorrow evening, you will be going into the Iron Rail Bar in Charlestown, downtown, and you will be presenting a performance of music which you will have written and rehearsed from now until then. Go. So the bus would arrive at the bar, which would not be considered sophisticated. The Civil War was triggered by John Brown a little down the road, and in Charlestown, he was actually tried. The iron rail was just down from the courthouse. The judgment being offered by the locals at the bar was probably as savage. And once the students had sat in and began performing, if the audience response was not sufficiently to remind them of their duties to music and the audience, I would perhaps heckle them or throw things at them. I have, for example, thrown both my shoes at a Los Angeles lawyer who is performing solo. The idea of the heckler is you remind the performer of their responsibilities to music and the audience and themselves. On one occasion at the Iron Rail, a blonde woman of a certain age who had been enjoying the flow of healing waters available in the tavern appeared at the door of this small performance area and was obviously not supportive. So I invited her in, sat her down at a table just in front of the students, and bought her a drink. This was an additional level of pointed stick or challenge for the students.
Do we have another burning question?
Was it an example of the pointed stick that prompted you after 7 days to ask your bride to marry you?
This was not a pointed stick. I have on occasion been asked, why did you propose after a week? How could you have known this was your wife? My reply, how could I not know this is my wife? Recognizing that this was my wife, I proposed. I poured a glass of champagne beforehand, may I say, and then proposed, and my wife kindly accepted.
Well, you have said you had an arranged marriage.
Yes. You know, conventionally in arranged marriages, where you trust your parents to make the choices for you, and one of the guitar craft men, his mother was an arranged marriage. She remembers being called out of the cinema in Pakistan to be told who her husband was going to be. In our culture, this is surprising. Now, my wife and myself, after a week, we really didn't know each other. Nevertheless, recognizing that we were for each other, we had an arranged marriage between ourselves. We arranged to get to know each other within the commitment of marriage.
Please like and subscribe and tell me what content you want me to create next.